this is exactly what I mean by lucky. I mean, you know, here's a situation where, you know, everything potentially looked like it was going to go pear-shaped at PWL with Rick Astley, you know, packing in and disappearing, and, you know, the Donna Summer record was about to happen, but we didn't have anything on our own label. Bang, suddenly I get a call, please do this girl called Kylie Minogue.
I just released my first single in Australia, which was Locomotion, produced by one of his engineers who happened to be in Australia at the time. So that was such a big success. The next logical step was to come to London, work with the boys. I heard that people kept saying to Pete, so what if this girl's come over? You said you're doing a song with her, what's happening? And nothing happened. My manager and I were going on the Harris Bus tour, managers shows, I mean, yeah, everything to try and pass the time.
I'd forgotten, because purely of the work rate that we were expected to achieve.
And I think finally on the last day they said, look, she's going back to Australia, you have to do something.
And I said, you know, she should be so lucky. Oh, no, I should be so lucky. Get on with it.
As legend has it, they wrote I Should Be So Lucky in 10 minutes or something, and in I went. And I was quite bamboozled. I didn't really know what was going on, and I just remember walking into the reception. There was just gold records adorning all the walls.
So we've got this record, we're the hottest team in town, and nobody wants it.
I had a call from someone who worked for Pete to say, would I be interested in an artist called Kylie Minogue? And I'd never heard of her. And I said, well, who is she? Well, she's Australian. And for some reason, I envisaged, because it was Kylie Minogue, Australian, an Aborigine.
Pete realised that if you had a soap star who was loved by millions of people, as Kylie was, then if she had a decent voice, it wouldn't be that hard to have a huge hit with her.
I think that I fitted into the Hit Factory very easily because of where I'd come from. Or I was still working on Neighbours at the time. It's very regimented. You have to be very professional, turn up, and you've got 5 minutes to learn lines and 5 minutes to do your 1 or 2 takes, and it's very go, go, go. I would go in and he would have a sheet of paper and say, okay, play. That's how it goes. We'd just literally go through it 2 or 3 times. He'd say, ready? Yeah, okay, I'll go in. And that was it. Double track everything up, bombs away. The Hit Factory was, I imagine it like a pyramid, and you really had Pete Waterman at the top, and then the trio was completed with Matt Aitken and Mike Stock. And the way the three of them worked was amazing and fast. I don't think Pete's got the patience for it to be any other way.
She became the queen of pop. I mean, if anything, she was like our answer to Madonna. What we saw was Kylie just grow into this huge, huge megastar. I mean, she became this huge gay icon.
And we did Especially For You, which was, of course, PWL's dream, and I think Pete Waterman will still say, although I would argue with him, it's probably the best love song ever written. No, I don't think so, but it's certainly a very well-crafted song and had hits written all over it. Even from the minute I heard that song, I knew it was going to be rise.
To be fair, I didn't want to do it, and I actually asked Kylie if she minded, and she didn't, because I actually thought that might be just too much.
I think for Jason and I, it just seemed normal. We'd done so much together by that stage. We worked together, we were going out together, we were best friends, and I don't think that, well, we would have been hard-pushed to find someone else who understood what each of us was going through. So it was just an extension of work for us. We'd done everything else together, so Especially For You was born.
I'm extremely jealous of Kylie, and I'll be quite honest at that point. I mean, if you're a young boy, you know, and you're seeing your girl being almost screamed at by guys, and yet I was being screamed at by girls. All I can say was I was very young and I was still trying to come to terms with the love affair I was having.
We tried never to have the two in town together, because it wasn't them that couldn't cope, it was us that couldn't cope. And we just, the security, the actual running about, you know, hotel costs, the whole sort of thing, you know, we're still a tiny company.
I found it really hard to deal with her fame at that time. And as it turned out, we broke up and she went out with Michael, so it was splashed everywhere. I was the one that copped that. That was a hard time for me. Having spent a personal time with her, professional time with her, and then her sort of almost moving on to the guy that I wanted to be. That was pretty hard.
What happened to me was Kylie Minogue. And that's what she put the success at. Well, the reason I mean that, I don't mean that against Kylie Minogue. I mean that she was so successful that I had to fall in line with her success. I'd been a renegade up to Kylie Minogue. Suddenly, here's a girl that's generating, I don't know, 30, 40 million pounds cash. And, you know, by this time, I think we've got something like 134 staff here. You know, I know, well, all I'm telling you is the wages bill was horrendous and all the costs were horrendous. I didn't want my company to become one artist. As much as I love that artist, as much as now history shows what a wonderful artist she is and how proud I am of her.
I just wanted to be a bit more involved, and it reached a point where being told to go and have a cup of tea till we call you, I was like, I'm not happy with that anymore.
I remember Kylie struggled very much with the whole Stock Aitken Waterman thing. You know, I always wondered, why are you doing it? To get out if you don't like it that much. Get out.
And I think I left when I should have left. I did 5 years with PWL, and I think I might be the only artist that fulfilled the duration of the contract.
I think it was the best thing she ever did. I think she went on and she did these 2 albums with Deconstruction, and whether they were successes or not are immaterial, because I think the fact that she went off and did something different and came back and did, you know, a pop album, I think that kind of reinvented her.
She did everything just as it should have been, and I think I left when I should have left, and it was nothing but successful, which is now, I mean, the longer I'm in the industry, the more I understand that is just amazing.
You could have hit me or knocked me down with a bloody feather when we suddenly get a writ from writing that, claiming they own part of the company. Never got it. Still don't get it to this day.
There's record won't stop.
Now they're all saying, oh, the songs are really, you know, they're great songs. They were given such a lot of grief by so many people at the time, and yeah, so was I. We were all in it together.
It was about the song. It was about or even the record, you could say. It was about.
I think they had more number ones than any other production team in the world.
They defined an era in music.
Can you drop that piano out?